Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Valley Views. This is your host, Amanda Joy Christensen, and I'm super excited to welcome you to another fantastic episode here of Valley Views. This is season 4, episode 3, and I'm going to call it I Want It That Way because the week that I just had is exactly that. A week that I wanted it my way, and guess what? God delivered. It's ironic because sometimes when you send messages out, even if you think no one's listening, it is possible that a little birdie could be out there and they could hear what you need to say at the right moment to make a decision. Last episode, I talked all about how exciting it was to be the first person in the city to receive the women's puck. The hockey community continues to be a huge piece of my heart. But tonight, I want to turn over the episode a little bit to entertainment. This last week, I had the opportunity to pop my cherry, if you will, hence the dress, to attend my very first show at the Sphere. First and foremost, I'm going to just give you guys my honest opinion of it before and then how my opinion changed. If you're new to Las Vegas or you're new to Valley Views, thank you so much for tuning in. This is a podcast where I come in each week bringing you real life perspectives from the city of Las Vegas. And everything is rooted in my 20-year hospitality experience turned journalism skills that has allowed me to have access to some of the most unique personal experiences. But like most people, sometimes you just literally have to accept the invite and show up. So many people say, Amanda, you're always doing something interesting and you're always on the go. Well, I learned very early on, especially living here, that if someone extends the invite, it is never too late to just say, I'm in, even if you know no one. And that's exactly what happened to me this week. One of my avid fans and listeners extended an invite last minute and invited me to what became my very first Sphere show. I got to see the Backstreet Boys live in the 8/8. It was on August 8th at the Sphere inside the Dome. And to be very frank with you, I truly never wanted to see a show there. I felt like it was ostentatious, it was too big, it was over the top. Every time I saw the imagery, I was like, oh God, if I'm inside, I'm going to hallucinate and trip. But none of that was true. It honestly was incredible. I sat center stage to in the 200 levels row. I call it Lucky Seat 13, my favorite number. And I was just in awe from start to finish, from the rumbling seats to the high definition, beautiful graphics to really just watching five grown men kill the lyrics to songs that they wrote 25 years ago with energy that, only a few Red Bulls could create. But in all fairness, it was by far one of the most unique experiences that I've ever had in music in general. Um, I've profiled on some of my other episodes. I've actually been to over 135 concerts. This will now make 136. So I've definitely not been a stranger to the music world. However, to actually go to the Sphere and feel that immersive experience, it was chef's kiss, one of a kind. I also was extended the opportunity to go backstage, so I did get to be a BSB VIP. Um, which honestly, I ended up standing in the middle of Hollywood who's, and it was really amazing and incredible. And I do want to share, I had the chance to meet the publicist and I got to meet Isla Fisher, who was here this weekend for her movie premiere. But she was at the Backstreet Boys after party I was at, and it was really neat to meet her because she's by far one of the most funniest women. I remember her from Wedding Crashers, absolutely hysterical actress, comedian, hands down. She was beautiful. But she said when I introduced her, she said, well, what do you do? And I said, I'm a writer. I write a show and it's all about Vegas. And she literally looked me dead in the eye and she said, that is so cool. And I'm so excited to see a woman in journalism and writing. We really need more of them. And here I am, completely like got the call an hour before to show up to this event. And the next thing you know, at the end of the night, was receiving an accolade from somebody that I could say is by far one of the best actresses of my time. You know, debatably outside of Anne Hathaway and maybe Anna Faris, who's in the movie with her. It was really funny. But for her to look me dead in the eye, for her to accept my business card, for her to just say to me, like, great job, keep up your work. Thank you, Isla, because you know what? I was more impressed meeting you, but the compliment you left me with really had me feeling proud of the work that I'm doing here. And it's just exciting to show up every single week. I do want to give you guys like a mini update too, because this is like really crazy to think. But a few people reached out to me after my last episode about the guy. Um, anyway, I got a message. That's all I'm gonna say about it. And that's all. That's all I can say. But the things are going in the right direction. So they're moving in the right direction. So I'm not really going to talk about that anymore. But let's just say sometimes when you open up your heart, you open up your mind, and you align yourself with things that you truly are authentic about, um, anything can happen. Like literally anything can happen. So with that said, I am still single. I'm officially divorced, but I actually heard from somebody that held, oh my God, guys, like I'm having my own Isla Fisher moment of being a comedian. I don't edit my show, so you're gonna all watch me wipe this lipstick off my teeth. But listen, it doesn't matter. I can't talk too much about it, but let's just say it worked. Anyway, so moving right along into the Backstreet Boys concert. So after going backstage and like literally just having the opportunity to meet AJ and Howie, who also accepted my business card, they were so interested in what I was doing on my platform. And I think so many people say to me, Amanda, I don't understand your show, or you don't actually interview people. Like, what's the point? Um, the point is just to give a real life perspective. Like my life living in the city has been handfuls of movie moments that only time of telling the story can capture. And sometimes, especially in moments when you are meeting high profile people, um, yes, we live in the digital age, but not everyone is comfortable with that. So taking a picture is not always the appropriate thing to do. But I'm also learning as identifying myself as a journalist and a writer and press. Some people will be 100% interested in what I have going on, and then some people won't. So either way, seeing the Backstreet Boys was truly transcending. They extended their residency to the end of the month and then just announced some shows over New Year's Eve. So if you want to check out the Backstreet Boys, guys, it is absolutely worth the hype. I do want to say some people had actually commented negatively on my page that you can't buy meet and greet. I don't actually know how to purchase the tickets. I was privately invited very last minute, and it was by far just glad I said yes. Just glad I said yes. Okay, so moving on to the next topic. There are a handful of interviews actually that went out. So the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be profiling some amazing local business leaders here in Las Vegas, and really just like stepping into what Valley Views has been over the last year, a true platform that is finding legacy leaders and impactful people in my community who are leaving their mark. Every single time I step behind the microphone and I get a chance to talk about something that happens, whether it's political, entertainment, educational, hospitality based, or just someone else's perspective, am learning as well through private mentorship and leadership classes to respect everyone's boundaries. It's also interesting that the more I have different pieces of political media reach out to me or entertainment media reach out to me, that I continue to put Valley Views in the right places and elevate platform stories that continue to make Las Vegas a safer and better place to live. As I get ready to wrap tonight's episode, I just want to say thank you. Thank you again to every single person that has taken the time to show up and support me. I have really big announcements coming up for my company in August and September, along with some really, truly one-of-a-kind collaborations that I'm working on. Tomorrow, I'm hosting my very first MC event for the Super Zoo Pet Expo here in town with a handful of amazing, amazing curated animals and vendors. I have truthfully always stood on stage and loved performing, but to step behind the mic and be an official MC to provide a truly one-of-a-kind experience for a curated group of guests is something I am truly looking forward to. It's never too late to start over. It's never too late to begin again. And as many of the parents I know who dropped their kid off today at school, as the new year begins and I took my own child to school for the very first time, I stopped and listened to the advice of the other parents around me. And as I start the school year off, I want everyone to know that Las Vegas is by far one of the most diverse cities in the world. Walking into the elementary school, my son is going to have the opportunity not only to sit alongside children of all different calibers and classes and races, but he's also going to have an opportunity to be brought up in a city that offers STEM, arts, entertainment, hospitality, medical, and sports opportunities through mentorships and programs that really don't exist. So, as much as people want to complain that we do have one of the worst school districts, why don't we take a moment as parents as this year starts off and remember this, that our kids are a reflection of who we are. They're 100% a reflection of the choices that we make. And if we decide to show up as kinder humans in our own community, the next generation of children that we're bringing up through this school district will be better than us. And I think that's the point. When I dropped off my son this morning, I told him there were 5 things I prayed about when he was a baby in my tummy. And I had dreamed of this day, him going to kindergarten. And he said to me, "Mommy, what did you wish?" And I said, "I prayed for you to be smart," which he is, kind, which he is, caring, he is. And I prayed for him to be brave, which he absolutely is. But most of all, and I think this is something for all of us to remember, the last one is to just have fun. I think so much of life is just spent being serious about deadlines and obscure things that if tomorrow you drop dead, half of it wouldn't matter. But when my son leaned into me this morning and he held my hand and he said, "Mommy, I'm ready. You prepared me for this. I am brave." And he gave me a hug as he walked into the school for the very first time. That moment, my friends, is something no job, no value of a dollar bill, and no amount of status could buy me. Hearing my son say, "You did a good job, Mommy. I can't wait to see you after school. I love you and thank you." So listen this week for the little praises between the big ones, because anybody can win an award, anybody can be in a magazine, not anybody. But those things that drive what makes Las Vegas not appealing should really be what we as adults could decide to change in ourselves to make the kids growing up here a lot more proud of. And I think about moving ahead. I used to be a local leader who did Nevada Reading Week every year. And I used to go into the schools and I used to look at small kids and I think, wow, what opportunities do these children have? But looking at the city that I'm raising my 2 children in now, to be able to look across all aspects of professional alleys, whether it's in hotel, casino, entertainment, sports, media, or medical, I see a truly great opportunity, or engineering and science. I see great opportunities for many children here in Clark County. Something else that I found out about Clark County that I didn't know is that the children in the elementary schools do get free breakfast and lunch. And there is after school safe key, which duh, I knew that part. But what I found that to be is by offering every children the opportunity to have a meal twice a day really takes the edge off of parents who might be working 2 or 3 jobs or living on a stipend welfare check who are only making ends meet. When you think about something as simple as a meal twice a day for as many days as your child is there, I think there's a lot more value than just teaching our kids books. Giving them consistency, respect, discipline, and schedules really helps to create adults, hopefully later on in the workforce, that will have the opportunity to be better leaders. Lastly, I learned that this is the first year Clark County has reintroduced play back into kindergarten curriculums. Kindergarten has often not included imaginary play, but due to the spike in television usage, tablets, and TVs, Clark County adjusted guidelines this year that will allow children in kindergarten to have imagination and playtime. I think when I started writing this show, it was so when my kids listened to the stories I left behind, although at times controversial. They know that in my heart, I was always moving ahead a little bit quicker than everyone because what I see my city being is one of the greatest cities that this country has seen. And whether you guys believe it or not, my voice, yes, this loudmouth from the East Coast who loves Las Vegas, is actually making a bigger ripple than she even could have imagined when she first hit record and said, "Hi, my name's Amanda. Welcome to episode 1 of Valley Views." Thank you, everybody. I'll catch you guys next week. I cannot wait to continue sharing on some of the high profile events and private events that I'm attending this month. And like I said, find me on social media if you're interested in joining on an episode. I'm on LinkedIn, I am on Instagram, and you can also find me on YouTube now. I really, really would not be here without the help of my mom, who continues to be the backbone and the support as I continue to grow what is truly my own company. My mom spent a long time working for Calkins Media Group in New Jersey, and she taught me that the number one way to educate the next generation of children is through reading, writing, and marketing and creativity. I continue to challenge myself weekly as I bring you new and diverse ideas, but I also rawly and really bring to you controversial and hard topics that are not discussed anywhere else. And because of that, I don't mind being a party of one if that means that this party of one has the opportunity to educate and transform one of the most vibrant cities in the country. Thank you guys for tuning into Valley Views. I know there's a million podcasts out there, and I know there's a million other people you could decide to listen to. But when you listen to me, just know every like, every listen, and every comment, I know you're real people out there, and you care about what I have to say. And I'm not a little Miss Nobody to you. Talk to you guys soon. Bye. Okay, really though. Bye.